welcome back to part 3 in getting your kids to eat healthy. So we've had 2 other sessions. Go ahead and check them out whenever you have a chance. We're going to go through 5 more tips that I have used with my own kids and in my own family to get my children to start to eat a healthy diet. So number 1 in this series or in this program is hungry kids will eat what is available. So I've heard far too many times in my household, my kids, I'm starving, I'm hungry. And then I'll offer them a healthy option to only have them go, I don't want that, I don't want that. And so I just simply reply, if you don't want that, then you're not really hungry. Go find something else to do. Many times when we're bored or we just are looking for entertainment, we'll go look in the pantry, look in the fridge to fill our time. So we only should eat when we're hungry and when our body needs fuel. That's what food is for. And so I just want to remind you, parents, when your child is actually hungry, they will eat what is available. Now, making those things available that are healthy is also important, and that's the second thing, is always have available snacks, especially on-the-go snacks. Now, what do I mean by that? Have fresh fruit and vegetables that are available. Have bananas on hand, the small tangerine or mandarin oranges, maybe an apple or 2. Something that's easy for a child to just grab and go. And make these snacks readily available without having to ask for them in many cases. Now, other types of snacks like granola bars and things like that kids love and that will literally eat you out of house and home, make those more limited, that they can have 1 of those per day or something like that. I have go snacks rice cakes, and my kids are allowed to eat rice cakes pretty much anytime they want. They can put peanut butter on it, they can put banana slices on it, they can make it their own. But rice cakes are readily available for them whenever they are feeling hungry. Another thing that I do limit, but is actually one that is our grab and go snacks, are raisins or boxes of dried fruit or nuts. So those are really healthy, packed full of energy, and they're easy if you're on your way out the door. If someone's like, I'm really hungry, but I've got to run to baseball practice or school or whatever it may be, those are available and they can just grab them and take them along. Do have some snacks in your pantry that are always available to your children, whether that's fresh fruit, vegetables, that kind of thing, popcorn, pretzels, anything that has low fat, low sugar content is good for them to eat when they're hungry. I do actually challenge my children when they want to eat right before we're having dinner or we're having a big meal. I do say you're not allowed to have a snack right now because I want them to save their appetite for a proper meal and a proper dinner. But if it's middle of the day or it's in between meals, they are welcome to have a healthy snack. Okay, the next thing is dinner for breakfast. Now, you guys might think I'm a cruel mom for this story that you're about ready to hear, but it has worked like a charm. And that's this: I don't make my children finish their dinner and clear their plates. However, if they only pick at it and have a few bites to eat and they push their plate away and say they're not hungry, I say, fine, you'll have dinner for breakfast. Because we don't want to waste food, and I don't want to create a habit of just saying, I'm not hungry, I don't want that, because they simply don't want to eat whatever is being served. So there have been a couple of moments where specifically my daughter, because she's more of my pickier eater, would push her plate away, I'm not hungry. And the very next day she'd be served whatever was her dinner the previous night. I will say this, my daughter's far more likely to get up in the morning and for breakfast, she'll ask, can I have the soup or the enchiladas or the pasta from last night for breakfast? So I don't know if I've created that habit in her that dinner tastes better in the morning or not. But what matters to me is that breakfast is when she fills her body with good, healthy food. So if that happens to be what she had for dinner the night before, so be it. I'm flexible in that way. She doesn't have to have pancakes or eggs and toast or fruit and yogurt. She can have pasta and lasagna and soup and a salad if she wants for breakfast. Okay, the next thing that I'll say is use a bento box or a plate to make a color palette. Teach your children that a healthy plate is a colorful plate. Now, I like bento boxes because kids like to put things in compartments. So you can find a number of bento boxes on Amazon or at Target even, and make sure that each one of those compartments is filled with a food of a different color. And tell your kids, the brighter the plate, the better the food will be for your body. Ultimately, a well-rounded diet is a colorful diet. So get your kids to sort of become an artist on their plate, filling it with things that have lots of color and lots of vibrancy. Okay, the last tip was one that I picked up when I lived abroad in London. So European moms do charcuterie boards and picnics all the time. And I found that to be really releasing and freeing for me, that I didn't always have to have a meal put together for my kids to eat. In other words, I didn't have to have a protein, a vegetable, and a starch of some kind for every meal that my children were eating. That's how I grew up, and so that was my pattern, and still is to a certain degree. But I learned that there's a beautiful release in just putting out an assortment of foods for your children to choose from. Cut up some different types of cheeses, have a few meats they can choose from, and then lots of healthy fruits and vegetables. My kids learned to love olives and cheese and dried fruit and grapes and all kinds of unique foods because they were able to graze on this big cutting board of multiple different kinds of things. I mean, don't you as an adult love a great charcuterie board? You can go to it's like being at a buffet. You get to choose all your favorite things. So again, when my kids, when we started doing these picnics and we would have these different options and they could fill their plates, the goal was fill it with as many colors as you can and eat until you're full. So don't put the restriction on yourself as a parent that you always have to have a perfectly planned meal or a perfectly planned healthy diet. Give yourself some grace. The very final thought that I'll leave you with is getting your children to eat healthily is not an all-day, everyday thing. So get them to eat healthily 5 out of the 7 days a week or 6 out of the 7 days a week if you really want to urge them to be healthy. But give your kids the opportunity to have ice cream or a birthday cake or a piece of candy every so often. Don't make those foods so restrictive that they seem secretive, almost that you can't touch those things, because that will produce an unhealthy relationship to food. You know, we can have cake, we can have ice cream, we can eat pizza every so often, as long as the majority of our eating is healthy. So I always like to tell my friends that are asking, how do you get your kids to eat healthy? I say, do the 70-30 rule. 70% of the time, eat really clean, really healthy, giving your kids loads of fruits and veggies. And then 30% of the time, let them choose. Let them decide what they want to eat. I guarantee you, if your children have been eating unhealthily for 3 days and they're used to 4 or 5 days of really healthy eating, they'll want to come back. My daughter, in fact, was the first one to make me realize that I had done a really good job of getting my kids to choose healthy things. She went for a weekend with a friend who had a different lifestyle in her family, which is all okay, but she didn't eat very healthy over 2 days. And she came home and she said, "Oh, Mom, I just want a salad. Can we just have some veggies?" And I thought, I'm winning. This is really, really good. So I hope this series was helpful to you. If it was, I'd love a comment, a thumbs up, share it with a friend, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching.